Welcome back to the SaaS Adventure Series with Jyoti Bansal. So Jyoti, we were just talking about the freemium model. Did you guys always start with this idea of 15 days for the full product?
No, we did not. We iterated over a couple of times. The first take we did was that we only had a lightweight version. Our AppDynamics Lite was free, and so you will start with AppDynamics Lite free forever. And our concept was like, you can upgrade from that to the full AppDynamics and do a trial if you want to before you buy. What we realized with that model that was great, a lot of people didn't know the full capabilities, and we had things like in the AppDynamics Lite we will talk about like these are the capabilities you're missing, but without people experiencing those, and for us to put a barrier in experiencing that, we found that it wasn't that useful. So we change that. It's a hard problem to solve though, because when we had our AppDynamics Lite, which is only about 10-15% of the functionality, to make that extremely easy for someone to get started in like less than 10 minutes is technically easier. When you get your full product, 100% of your functionality, for someone to get started in less than 10 minutes on that is a much harder technical problem. So we had to work on it pretty hard from a product perspective to make that happen. But it's a much powerful model because now people start with experiencing the full value. And after 15 days, the switch turns off and becomes the light version. So you still get some value, but you have experienced the full value. So it's kind of, we have done a lot of the selling during that 15-day period without anyone even talking to us. So that's where we got to.
It's a clever approach. Let's go back and talk about sales and sales ramp. I mean, AppDynamics has grown incredibly quickly. What metrics did you look at to give you confidence to really step on the gas?
Yeah, I would say as a CEO, that is one of the hardest questions you have to answer, because it's the way it looks for our businesses. There are only three constraints in how fast you want to step on the gas. One is there demand in the market, right? Second is can you execute on sales and build the sales capacity fast enough? And third is how much cash you have, because you need to spend cash to do that, right? And so like all of the forecasting models are figuring out how much demand is out there. They're very hard to do because it's at a business like ours, it feels like the demand is infinite at this point. There is no shortage of demand. So now the question is how fast do we grow, right? And how do we know that the demand would not slow down at some point, right? So the two metrics I look at is the sales productivity going up. At some point when the sales productivity stops going up, we know that if we are starting to get some saturation in how fast we can split territories and how fast we can ramp up people. So and the ramping up becomes a second key metric. Like if a new person comes in and for them to become productive takes much longer, that instead of 4 months, it's taking 8 months now before they can get something, that there is some kind of saturation started to happen. So I look at those as the kind of the leading indicator kind of metrics. If your ramp time is not going up, it's coming down, or it's staying, your productivity is not coming down, it's either staying even or going up, you can put more people in there. So that's how I look at it.
And for those who don't know what sales productivity means as a technical term, can you just define how you
sales productivity is how much sales a sales rep will do in a year. Mm-hmm. Right, so it's
is it a ramped rep or a new rep? Just
we look at it at a ramped rep. So there are two parts. So like once a sales rep ramps up, and you figure out that is your ramp period, and you want to shorten the ramp period as much as you can. And then once the rep is ramped up, how productive would they be? Like would they produce $1.5 million of business a year? Would they produce $2.5 million of business a year? Would they produce $4 million of business a year? And that's where you have to, and you can measure in different ways. Some companies measure on revenue, some companies measure on booking, some companies measure on billings. Doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter what you measure on, but what you want is your productivity to keep going up until some point, because until that point you have more capacity you can easily grow the organization into.